You know the saying, just do it? Of course you do. It's quite famous. This is actually a wonderful way to go about making change in your life. So we're going to talk today about how to create real change in your life. I will tell you that 15 years ago, pretty much everything about my behaviors related to food, exercise, socializing, and my work were completely different. So clearly you don't make the change overnight, but how do you do this? Now, I'm trained as a cognitive behavioral psychologist, and I firmly believe that I can help you through your thoughts. I can help you to change just about anything that's upsetting you. That said, I absolutely believe that if you just think about something and you don't do the behaviors to make the change happen, to solidify the changes, then it doesn't happen. So today we're going to talk about creating a new you. Now, one of the things talked about is becoming 1% better all the time. The thing I don't like about that, although I'm totally into continuous improvement in work, in personal life, in every domain, 1% better implies that you're not good enough right now, which just kind of doesn't sit with me, right? Personally, it's just that you have a goal of some sort, whether you've really stated it to yourself or not. And to achieve it, you will have to make incremental changes. And that's really the point of the 1% better. Change it to you're 1% closer to reaching your goal. Your goal can be in anything. I named a few at the outset of this. Now, normally, when I had a lot of people reporting to me, I always made it about their careers, right? So what type of career do you want to have? Where do you see yourself in 10 years, 20 years? Not the job, but is there something in particular you want? Perhaps you want to work in another country. You want to be on the board of a big organization. Whatever it is you want, how can we achieve that by starting now? If you look too far in advance, you don't do it. And that would be true of anything you want to accomplish. So what I would like you to do is pause the video, think about one thing you sincerely want to do. It's just been nagging at you. Give you a break, go. Okay, so when you come back, now we're going to talk, I'm going to give you an example about something that I changed in my life. Now, because this is going out to, I don't know, there are a few people who watch it, but it is going to be publicly available. So I don't like to, show anything too personal about myself. What I don't think is personal about myself is working out. I think everyone tries to endeavor to be healthier in their own way. So that is the example I'm going to use. But just because this has to do with working out, I want you to think about your goal, because really most of the changes I've made in my life have not been this. They've been around my career, my family, friendships, all sorts of things, like all really great things that have made my life amazingly better by changing them. But we're going to do this as the example. So remember to apply it to your thing, okay? So I promised myself at the age of 39 that when I was 40, I was going to start working out. Great. Okay, I had not worked out since I was in a varsity sport in high school. And so this was quite the endeavor, because remember, I was going to be 40. So I do not break promises to myself. That is the first lesson with this. When you make a promise to yourself, keep the promise. I will tell you that your mind knows when you break promises, and it's easier to break promises in the future. Think of it like RSVPing for a party and then not going. Anytime I'm going to use the word flake. Anytime you flake on another person, you've broken a promise to them. When you break a promise to yourself, it is even worse, because then you don't have to follow through on anything. So my first thing was I wasn't going to break a promise to myself. Boy, did I wait till last minute. So I was 1 week away from turning 41 when I finally went to the first gym class. But I did it, and I accomplished what I'm teaching as principle 1. When you decide you're going to do something, do it. Just do it. Do not at any point break a promise to yourself, no matter what it is. You have to be accountable to you. Okay, so I did it. I was 40 years old in 51 weeks. Maybe in a couple days also. So anyway, that wasn't the whole goal, right? I didn't say I would work out once when in my 40th year, I said I would start working out. Meaning, and in my mind, that meant as a continual thing that I would continue for the rest of my life to aim to be healthier, because I wasn't healthy enough. I looked healthy, I seemed healthy, but I knew I could have functioned a lot better in a lot of ways. So then how do we create that change to really happen? I started with what the minimum viable dose was for me. And that is that based on what I read, what I learned about, that working out twice a week should be the minimum if you want to increase your health, maintain health if you already have it. So that was my goal. Now, please be clear, I didn't just sign up to do something twice a week and that was that. I had to go through a lot of iterations of figuring out what worked for me. You have to do the same thing. So I mentioned earlier, for example, like you want to be on a board, well, you're going to have to join a committee. First, you have to think through what kind of board you want to be on, what kind of committees would help you get there, and which of those committees do you actually want to be on, that you think you could add value, that you would get joy from. So there's a little bit of research you have to do. Well, the research when it comes to working out is going to different types of classes at different times of the day also, because not everyone likes to work out at one time of the day versus the other, certain days of the week, how it works out with your schedule, and figure out how this can work for you. And that's exactly what I did. And probably in about 4 months, I found classes, because I apparently can't work out on my own. I'll quit in 5 minutes. So it has to be a group class, which means I have a schedule. I have to be there at a certain time. And that has to work with my work schedule, because my work is very important to me. Once you do all that, that is now your non-negotiable. So let's say it's Monday and Wednesday at 6 a.m. Then you just set your alarm, wake up, go. Nothing changes that. So my second point here is, do not rely on motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Rely on a schedule. Rely on a promise to yourself. So with me, it was just go to these 2 classes a week, period. I'm not motivated to do it. I'm not motivated to wake up and go work out. I'm not motivated to be in the workout. And then after the workout, I'm delighted. I love it. So don't rely on motivation, rely on the schedule. The next one is, of course, being able to pivot. So I would say that when you're first starting to make this schedule, make it so that you try not to have any exceptions at all for at least 3 months. Just none, if at all possible. Now, I travel a lot for work. I sometimes have vacations, and it will happen that I have to move it around. And now at this point, I work out more than twice a week. However, I still have it in my head that if I can get it wherever it happens to twice a week, then I've done my minimum, and I'm happy that I've kept my promise to myself. That's pretty much it. And I can also tell you, as I'm saying this to you, that I realized a place that I have a lot of improvement. Oh my God, I have so many, right? Don't we all? This was my thing about 1% better. It kind of makes you feel bad about yourself, but I'm not going to feel bad about myself. I'm just going to recognize this is a place for improvement. These videos are very, very hard for me to do. The reason being that I don't do them on work hours. It's too dark in the evenings, and I don't know if I want to do them on the weekend, right? Do you always feel like doing it on the weekend? You can't plan it. And so it's very hard, and I just kind of beat myself up over not doing them. And that's what I'm saying. Pick something right now. You kind of have been beating yourself up about not doing well, and make a schedule. And you know what? After this, I'm going to make a schedule for making these videos. End of story. That's it. Let's do it. Just do it. Take care.